right, guys, how are we doing tonight? Hit me up in the chat. Let me know where you're calling in from. Khang, what's going on?
What's going on?
There you are.
Hey, buddy.
How you doing?
Good, man. Happy Thursday. Ready to rock and roll?
Happy Thursday to you too. I'm absolutely ready to rock and roll. We got a bunch of people joining in still, but we've got a good crew with us so far.
I'm ready whenever you are, dude.
Yeah, let's do it, guys. Well, okay, so to kick things off, I thought everybody in here should know a little bit about your awesome story.
Okay, well, I'm going to make a long story short because today it's not about me. It's really about you guys, the audience, everyone that's watching. First of all, I want to say happy Thursday. Hope everybody having a good day. And also, too, is hopefully you guys will end 2019 strong. So I was born and raised in Vietnam in a mud hut, dirt poor, right? My parents a rice worker, right? I'm sorry, a field worker, right? You know how people cut the rice and wearing that Chinaman hat, over 100-degree every single day. That's what my parent would do. And I would work since I was the age of 6, helping them out in any way that I can. So we're fortunate enough to came to America at the age of 9. The first spot that we landed was in Lansing, Michigan. First time I saw snow. First time I've seen carpet. First time I saw a refrigerator. Back in my country back then, to have a refrigerator is normally people that's in the city and are pretty loaded. Okay, so came over at 9, man. Dropped out of high school when I was 17. I just knew that school wasn't for me. I'm not like the book smart, so my reading, my writing are super poor. Met the wife at the age of 18, and I told my mom that I'm gonna pack my backpack. You know, the Asian parent. So obviously my mom said if I leave and if I don't continue school, she will basically disown me, because you know the Asian parent, they want you to be a doctor, lawyer, an engineer, and all of that, right? So I met the wife at the age of 18. Decided, you know what, that's not the route I'm gonna go. Pack my backpack, say goodbye to my mom, move in with my wife in a little shed behind a mobile home park, and stay there from the age of 18 all the way until we're 23. 5 years of our life, just putting our face down and just working, man. Every single day I was working, and then I was working, you know. And then we at I think at 20, we were fortunate enough to buy over a hair extension kiosk in the mall. And now I work 2 jobs, bro. 5 o'clock in the morning, get off at 1:30, drive home, and I get home about 2 o'clock. I have about 1 hour to shower and eat, jump into the mall from 3 p.m. all the way into 9 p.m. We did that for almost 7 to 8 years. Hustle and grind. Got into real estate, bro, at the age of 27. And the reason why we got into real estate is because we know that the mall kiosk wasn't basically sustainable, because you're building your business on someone else's land. You know, we lease the spot. We get the mall telling us, hey, you know, this, you have about 30 days to get your stuff out, to move. And so the wife knew that was not the path that she wants to go. And she said if she ever built a business, she wants to be able to control it, right? So, and then we figure, you know what, I think we didn't believe in the 401k or stock or anything like that. We're more into, you know what, knowing that people buy rental property, and that's how the rich, the wealthy people retire. And we know that that's probably the ultimate, that's the ultimate goal that, or way that we want to go. So got into real estate at the age of 26 or 27 or so, man. I don't remember exactly. And we bought a $7,000 3-day seminars to a 3-day seminar, $7,000 for the wife and I to go. And they pretty much teach you everything, man. You know how to fix and flip, how to wholesale, how to do lease option, own a contract, and all that. But I choose the route fix and flip to go, because I was like, you know what? Why would I want to start at the bottom when my wife, you know, the wife and I has been working, we have been saving up the money, man. You know, waiting for the opportunities, like preparation meets opportunities. That's what we were, dude. We were working, grinding, and stacking the money away. So we got into the whole fix and flip game, David. I did that so it took me 6 months. First of all, it took me 6 months to get my first deal. And that was my flip deal. Took me 4 months to finish the flip. And I knew nothing about construction. I don't know what laminate flooring is. I don't know what siding is. I don't know what vinyl window, nothing. No construction term, no real estate term, no nothing. Hire a general contractor. Well, I hire a mentor, and we hire a general contractor, finish that project in about 4 to 5 months. After everything said and done, we made about 50,000. After 4 years into the game, man, I over leverage, and I kind of tap out. It was because, bro, David, the mistake I made, bro, one was I got into the fix and flip game, and I was going too fast, too quick. I was trying to grow too fast, too quick. And within a couple of years here, man, I think I was doing like 3 to 4 projects, had about over a million, got to be like $1.5 million tied up, and I couldn't do any more. Came across a deal where I was like, you know what, this is too good. I cannot pass on it, but I cannot buy it either. And I was like, hey, I heard about the wholesaling. Why don't I give this a shot? Well, lock that thing up, found a buyer in 7 days, David. Found a buyer in 7 days, in 2 days, I'm sorry, in 2 days, closed that thing in 7 days and made 28,000. And from that moment on, bro, I never looked back. And here I am today.
Oh my gosh. How long ago was that you did your first deal?
My first whole real estate deal was about, I would say 8 years ago. Okay. But my first wholesale deal was about 4 years ago.
Dude, incredible story. I can't imagine what it's like to live on a dirt floor house. The way you started that off, I immediately just had a really hard time understanding like how much you've risen up. Like that's incredible and inspiring, no matter like where you come from.
Oh, I appreciate it, David. Thank you so much for the kind word, man. And first of all, you know what, you guys, I forgot to say, hey, David, thank you so much, bro. Really, thank you so much for the opportunities to be on here, to share my stories with your audience, man. So thank you so much for that.
100%.
Now, David, check this out, dude. When we came to America, because I've never slept on a mattress before, when we came to America, my whole entire family, dude, slept on the floor for 1 whole month until we got used to sleeping on a mattress, like on an actual bed. We slept on the floor, man, for 30 days.
Just because you weren't used to it.
Correct. It would hurt.
Oh my gosh.
Dude, it would hurt our back and hurt our neck.
To sleep on a mattress.
Yeah, correct. Yeah, I know. It's weird.
Now you're closing deals from your bed, probably, right? Because you do everything virtual.
Bro, now I'm closing deal from the toilet, dude.
Oh my, we don't have to go that far. But I think it's a good segue to say you can close deals from anywhere because you work in virtual markets that you're not actually living in. And so I think a lot of people here are going to have questions, but I wanted everybody to know that because it kind of blew my mind to realize you can virtual wholesale because, well, how do you get a comp in a market that you don't know? Or how do you get them to sign an offer over the phone without meeting them and all this, that just really blew my mind. So I can't wait for people to start asking questions. Anything else we should share before we jump into the Q&A part?
Well, you know what I mean.
What does your business look like today? Can you?
Yeah. So today, I think we have about 10 VA. So our whole business operations operates from VAs, and all these VAs are from the Philippines. So my wife qualifies, she trained them up and all of that. And my business model is, dude, it's very simple. So we do it virtually. So we don't see the seller, right? We don't see the property. We don't see the buyer. All this is closed virtually. Actually, this Sunday, the wife and I are going to go back to Vietnam, bro, and we're going to be there for about a month and a half. And I'm going to still do what I do here, there. It doesn't matter. And that's the beauty about virtual wholesaling.
Incredible.
And, yeah. So right now, our team is just about 10 VAs, and it's very, very easy, man. So we got our VA that filter and qualify the leads. So whether it's incoming call or outbound call, we got a couple, we got about, I think 4 of them or so qualify and filter the leads. And then if that leads qualify, it moves over to our purchase manager. The purchase manager now is the one that actually talks to the seller and negotiates and lock that deal up in the contract. Once that deal is under contract, it gets passes on to my transactional coordinator. And I know that I name them different than a lot of people out there. They call them disposition, but I call them transactional coordinator. Now they're the one who market the deals, work with the title company, the seller, and the buyer to move it forward to closing. So it's just 3. The lead manager, filter, qualify the leads, the purchase manager, lock up the deal, and then it goes out to my transactional coordinators, and that's it.
Gotcha.
Very simple.
Gotcha. Now, did you do any driving for dollars at all?
Oh yeah, man, dude. When I first started out, man, obviously, when you first start out, you try to hit every single freeway, right? And driving for a dollar was a really good way to get leads. But check this out, dude. I mean, at that time, obviously, it didn't have DealMachine, right? It didn't have DealMachine. I wish it did, but there were no DealMachine. So I would drive for a dollar, man, and I would take the property address and put them all on a notepad. I would go home. I would skip trace them, like I would skip trace them, and then, I mean, listen, if you only do 1 or 2 or 3 or 4, it's not a big deal. But when you're trying to build a business, you drive for dollars, and then those leads will stack up. So I have no way of tracking my leads, dude. I have no way of knowing what I've talked to that seller, all of that. So I lose on a lot of deals. But when I was driving for dollars, bro, I got a lot of deals from it. But I know that with DealMachines now, with what you create, I probably could have got more deals, bro. Way more.
I wish I could go back in time and build it sooner.
Dude, David, I was doing it the caveman style, bro. Taking notes on the notepad, dude. And some of you out there who was watching this are still doing that. Listen, man, this is 2020, bro. Come on, man.
It's almost 2020.
Yeah, dude. Stop being the caveman style and get that DealMachine. It's going to help you out a lot, because it's going to help you, right? It's going to help you make sure you keep track of your leads, and it automatically does all the follow-up for you and all of that.
Mm-hmm.
I honestly love what you have created, David, for anyone that are driving for dollar and staying on that low budget side, bro.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. Appreciate it. Well, with that, I wanted to open up the questions. So if you guys have any specific questions that you want answered, now is a great time to start asking those in the chat, and we will keep this going.
David, one thing I got to say, bro, I'm so glad that you're the one who's reading the question, bro, because if it was up to me, bro, that would be a problem.
It's really small font. So Chin, the first question is, how can I buy a property from you? I don't know if he's talking to me or you, but it sounds like he might be a buyer.
Well, I mean, I guess if you want to be on our buyers list, then you can either DM me or DM David, I guess. We're a wholesaler. Mm-hmm. So if you're the fix and flipper, or buy and whole, or maybe you're another wholesaler that wants to do deal together, just shoot us a DM then. Yeah,
I'm going to type your Instagram handle over here. Or do you want me to give them the TikTok handle? It's the same, I guess.
Yep, same thing, man. TikTok, tickety talk, dude. It's crazy, bro. We hit 10,000 followers just within the last 60 days.
Mm-hmm. All right, first of all, you grew from 3,000 to 10,000 in the last 7 days. Yeah. And I'm not doing too good. I gained 1 follower during that time. All right, so Chandria says, how can working with a realtor benefit my wholesale business?
You want me to answer that question, David?
Yes.
Yeah, see, a lot of you guys are, I mean, not a lot, but some of you are afraid to work with realtor. And listen, realtors are people that have your cash buyer and people that can actually send you deals. I've gotten a lot of deals with realtors. Even to now, we have 4 to 5 realtor that we work closely with to either get us deal pocket listing, which is, these are basically deals that have not been put on the MLS. And then there are also realtors that we work with that are out there hunting deal for us that are on the market for X amount of days. So when it's on the market for, it's 90 days or older, what they do is they send it over to us, and we would make offer on each and every single one of them. So so working with realtor is actually important. So you want to connect with some solid realtors that can either that either have cash buyer or that can help you find you deals. Okay. So yes, work with realtors.
Okay. This one, it says, how did you grow your Instagram so fast?
Well, the thing is, I think a lot of people overcomplicate things. I think whoever gives the most value really wins the game. And that's why you see Maxwell, or, he like whoever gives the most free value, free content really wins the game. Like whoever gives the most free value really wins the game. And a lot of people think it's, you know, if you go back to my YouTube or all that, none of my video are very like edited. It was just straight. Even till now, I record it straight from my phone. It's just about being consistent and just constantly pumping out that value to people, man. 100%. Giving values.
All right. Dallas Artist says, I'm completely new to this. After I drive for dollars, find the property, then what?
Well, if you are going to do drive for dollars, then you must download the app DealMachines, right? And then after that, well, I guess I'll let David tell you what DealMachine would do with that. But what you can also do is skip trace, right? Get the address, skip trace, find the seller's right phone number, and then call them. And then when you call them, the most important thing is about your pitch, right? You got to tell them, hey, my name is this. I work with a group of investor, or I work for an investment company. We're looking to buy some properties in the area. Just want to know if you have a house or a property that you might be interested in selling, or just give them the address, or wanted to know if you are interested in selling or receive a free, no risk, no obligation, no risk, no obligation cash offer on your property located at 123 Apple Street.
Mm-hmm. All right. So what if they say, yeah, I want an offer? What do you do next?
So let's just say David said, yep, okay, I want to get an offer. Well, David, fantastic. Now I want to make sure, David, am I catching you at a good time? You got a few minutes right now for me.
Yeah, I've got a few minutes.
See, and then from that, what you do is now you're going to qualify the seller, right? You're going to qualify the seller, build the reports, all right, get all the information regarding the property. And then from that, I do not make offer on the first call. It's extremely rare. Really rare that I make offer on the first call, unless I know the area, unless the property is worth 100,000 and they call in, they say, hey, just give me, I want 50,000. Then I would, yes, then probably I would make for offer on the first call. But normally I don't. I would at least give it an hour or so. All right. And then I do my research, and then I call them back, because on the first call, I want to focus and give them all my attention and listen to them and build that rapport.
Okay. All right. Let's see. We've got a few more questions. Roji, I think, says, this question is for both of you. Can you wholesale a foreclosure home from a realtor?
Can you? Yes. The answer is yes. Now, when it's pre-foreclosure, it's one thing. And when it's foreclosure through a bank loan, you must take this in consideration, okay? So when it's pre-foreclosure through an agent, you gotta make sure you check with the bank, because some bank will want you to hold that property for X amount of days before you can actually wholesale it or sell it. So, you know what I mean? So, but the thing is, when you buy property like that, you typically cannot assign. You have to do a double closing. So it cannot be assigned. You have to do a double closing. So make sure you check with the bank, all right, that owns that property, to see if there is any limitation on the date that you have to hold your property for. Now let me share a trick with you. Let's just say, so let's just say the bank said, hey, you would have to hold this property for 30 days or 60 days. Check this out. Once you lock it up on a contract, and now you know that you cannot wholesale, or you cannot sell that property within 30 to 60 days, here's what you want to do. You do not want to wait until then to find your buyers. What you want to do is you want to find your buyers, all right? And then once you found your buyer, the next thing you want to do is you want to lock your buyer in. Tell your buyer that they need to drop off a very large non-refundable, okay? It's important. And what you're going to do is you're going to set the closing date to 61 days. So let's just say the bank said, hey, you have to hold this thing for 60 days. Now you're going to you're going to lock that buyer in with the contract, but the closing date will be 61 days. So right when you close on that property, automatically the next day, boom, you close with your buyers. So I hope that helps.
That definitely helps. Johnny Abera says, once you get a property under contract, when do you open title? Immediately, or wait until you have a buyer under contract?
Okay, so a lot of you, once you get a piece of property under contract, a lot of you are afraid to go ahead and send that contract into your title company or the attorney, because you're afraid that now you're liable to move forward to buy the property. And that was kind of my first thing when I first started. I was so scared. All right, well, what if I can't find a buyer? But the real answer is, once you get a lockup in the contract, you now send that contract into your title company or the attorney and open up escrow. Because you got to understand that on that contract, it gives you that time period to back out of the deal if you don't want to move forward to buying the property, or if you cannot find your buyers. And I know some people will hold on to the contract because they're still scared. They want to hold on to the contract until they find the buyers. If your seller has no problem with that, I guess you can do that. But technically, you want to lock it up, send it in, because if you want to create a business and a system, that's how it should work. Contract signed, goes to the title company, escrow open, you send the deal out and market it for buyers.
Awesome. Hope that helps, Johnny. Let us know if you have any follow-up questions. All right. The next one says, I have only $200 or $300 available. Would you guys recommend using the enhanced search to cold call, or just sending postcards and hope that he gets a lead? What do you think with that type of budget? You think that budget is large enough, or do you think, what's your advice?
Yeah, man. I mean, so let me ask you the question. The question is, you cannot try to get lucky. All right. You cannot try to get lucky with $200, $300, man. This is all about consistency. So do you have $200 to $300 each and every single month to market, or is that all you got? If that's all you got, I'm telling you, man, it's probably just going to drive for dollars, right? Drive for dollar, find that property, skip trace, and then cold call them. If you want to use DealMachine to send out the postcard, you can. Just want to make sure that you will stay on top of your budget. But I would just skip trace and cold call them with that budget if that's all you got. But listen to me, man. Those of you that say that will call, I only have $200, $300. Let me tell you something. If you say you want to succeed as bad as you think or as bad as you say you want to succeed, you will start selling stuff and pawning stuff that you don't need. All right. And you will start, working extra hours, whatever it is, to accumulate that extra money so you can spend on marketing, man. Because to me, you have a full-time job and say you only have $200, $300 right now in your bank account. There's probably something, to me anyway, there's something with you with your finance and the way that you're spending your money. So I hope that answered your question. So $200, $300 and to throw at it and to get lucky, this business is not about getting lucky. So go ahead.
What would you say is if the minimum amount that you would say you would suggest to get a deal? What?
Yeah. So I mean, the thing is, David, there's a lot of free ways to do it. You can put ad on Craigslist. You can cold call Realtor. Those are all frees. Driving for dollars, taking that list and then skip trace. That's cheap. Skip trace and cold call. So use that money, pull a list and skip trace it, and cold call is probably going to be the cheapest route for you with that budget. But I want to know, is that all you got, or is that every single month you have that budget? Because it's different. Okay.
Yeah. Emmanuel, if you want to clarify, that might help. There's another question. It says, what if this is from Chandrea. What if I'm in a rural area and finding comps are difficult? How will I know what to offer on the subject property?
I gotcha. And that's a good question. So when you're in a rural area, it is really hard to find comps. So what if I suggest, if I were you, it's Hannah, right?
Chandrea.
Oh, Chandrea. So if I were you, I suggest that you pick another county or another city where there is more easier to get comps, and it's not to stay away from the rural area, but not to market in those. Find another county or a city trying to go in there where it's easier to find comps. Now, when you find a deal in the rural area and you do your best, so typically, we want to stick within half a mile. And then obviously in the rural area, you might have to go to a mile. And if you can't find any comps, the next thing you want to do is call some agents in the area. I would call at least 3, not 1. Call 3 agents and ask them, hey, don't say, hey, I'm looking at this property to wholesale. Just say, hey, my partner and I are looking to buy some property in this area. Here's a bedroom, bathroom. Here's a square footage. What do you think that it would be worth after we fix it up? So call some realtors.
I like the way you said that. You're looking to buy a property rather than you have a specific property in that scenario.
Yep.
Okay, so Nyla says, when you work with realtors and they find a house that's been on the market for over 90 days, so you have a challenge finding an end buyer since the house has been sitting for a while on the market. I don't know if I fully understand the question. Hannah, do you want to bring on Nyla to ask it in video?
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. Let's see.
I think I understand. Yeah, that's cool that you can bring her on.
Yeah, let me do that. I just made Hannah the host. So Hannah, now you should be able to bring her on. Oh, there she is. It's more fun this way.
Yeah, this is so cool. David is teaching me the new way of how to do all this thing, man.
All right, Nyla, I see you're on here. And I'm wondering if you can start your video and your audio. Hello.
Hey.
We can't hear you. I think you're muted.
Okay.
Oh no, it's so quiet. Is there a way that you can unmute yourself?
Let me see if I understand what you're trying to say. She's trying now are you trying to say that, hey, if the property's on the market for 90 days or longer, and if you lock it up on the contract, since it's been on the market for so long, there's no buyer, how would I be able to get a buyer, right? Okay, got it. Okay, good. Okay, good question. Now listen, some of you, let me give you an example. If the property's on the market and it's on the market for 90 days and it's on there for 100,000, just an example, if it's 100,000, if you can get it under contract for 90,000, that is not a deal. You get under contract for 85,000, that's not a deal. Listen to me. It needs to be at a major discount for it to be a potential deal. But obviously, first, what you want to do is you want to figure out the ARV. Okay, figure out the ARV of the property, what it's worth. Okay, and then you just need to go ahead and use your formula, right? The wholesaling formula, and lock it up on the contract at that discount. But what I'm telling you is I get a lot of people sent over to me and say, "Hey, Khang, you know, man, this property is on the market for $100,000. I just talked to the agent, man, and I'm able to lock it up on the contract for $90,000. Dude, I'm telling you, that's not a deal. Most of the time, I would say that it got to be at least 50%. So if it's on the market for $100,000, 90 days or older, if you can lock it up on the contract for $50,000, there might be something there. Not saying there is, but there might be if it's under that much of a discount, 50% of the asking price that's on the market. So I hope that answers your questions. And the thing is that once you're able to lock it up, and it's just like anything else, you know, when it's on the market for 100,000, everybody sees it. Now you got it for 50. You send it out for 60,000. Like that is huge, right? That is a $40,000 discount from whatever the list price is. You can't lock it up in a contract for 90 and then try to send it out for like 95 or 100. Because I promise you, anybody that look at that deal probably have already put in an offer that are 10, 15, 20,000 less than asking price.
All right. So if anybody who's made an offer got denied at 10, 20,000 off, like what are some tips to get it under contract for 50% off?
Good questions. So the biggest thing, work with Realtor. Listen, man, when I first started, I got a ton of deals from agents. Basically, you got to build relationship. And here is the kicker. Here's what Realtor loves to hear. So let's just say David is an agent. And David, as an agent, if I bring an agent, which is a buyer's agent, now David would have to split his commission. So a realtor commission is about 5 to 6%. So if David is the listing agent, he lists that property. He knows that any buyer that comes in that brings an agent, a buyer's agent, he would have to split that his commission. So instead of getting 5 to 6%, he will only get 2.5 to 3%. But check this out. And this is why it's so important. Like, well, not important, but this is why the key, if you're able to have access to the MLS, like access to the MLS, you can find out who the listing agent is and you deal directly with the listing agent. So I come to David and I say, hey, David, listen, man, I'm just an investor. I'm not an agent. Do not say that you got the contact info from the MLS. Do not say that. Say, hey, David, I got your contact info from online, man. Listen, I'm just an investor, right? I'm not an agent. I don't want any part of the commission. You can keep the whole 5 to 6%. My goal is for us to build a good, solid relationship for long term, right? I don't want this to be a one-time deal. I want us to work together for long term, right? All I want, David, is the deal. You keep the commissions. All I want is the deal. Now, listen, David, if you're able to help me get this deal, guess what, man? Once we fix it up, we either relist it with you. If not, if my partner, if not, we keep it whole, or, you know, we keep it to rent it out, or maybe my partner want to go another route. I promise you, I'm still going to take care of you. And Realtor will love that, because instead of splitting the commission, you come to them, straight to them, and say, hey, you keep all the commission. I just want the deal, man. And if you build relationship, like Christmas time, you send them a gift, send them a $5 Starbucks card, or just, you know, just a thank you card or a Merry Christmas card, right? And build that relationship. And I promise you, listen, you're going to get a lot of no's. I mean, you will call 20 realtor and you probably get like 19 no's, but you just need one yes. One good realtor that willing to work with investor. And I promise you, they will just one deal that they bring you. Like a realtor brought me so many deals. One deal, it was from a firehouse, and we made like $54,000 off of that one deal.
A firehouse?
A firehouse, bro.
Oh, you mean like a house that caught on fire?
Yep.
I thought you were talking about the place where firemen live.
Oh, no.
Okay.
No, a house that caught on fire, and
Gotcha.
and the agents send it over to me as a pocket listing, because the seller doesn't want to put it on the market and go through all that.
Mm-hmm. Okay, thanks, Nyla. Sorry that we couldn't hear you, but it was nice to see you.
Yeah.
Okay, Chris says, do you do SMS marketing? And if so, what do you say?
Oh, yeah, baby. Yep. Right now, we used to do a lot of direct mail. We and direct mail has killed it for us. But we recently, we have shift over to SMS, which is, for those of you who don't know, text blasting. And it's pretty much on the message. We just say, hey, this is Khang. We would like to, we're looking to buy 3 to 5 more properties within the next 30 to 60 days. Just want you to know if you have a house or a property that you might be interested in selling. And the key things to text messaging is, let me share this with you guys. The key thing to text messaging is you cannot use the same text message over and over and over again. You got to make it catchy, and you got to switch it up. And one more tip is that you do not want to use the same phone number over and over and over again. Why? Let's just say I sent David a text message. David got a text message from my phone number. He's like, oh man, this guy crazy. I'm going to block him. Well, guess what? If you use that same number, you're being blocked by David. But what if I use a different number? You know what? Now what you want to do is you want to use a different number coming in with a different text message. Maybe the last one doesn't rub David the right way. Maybe the next one is like, David, call me. I got a great cash offer for your property. You know what I mean? Hey, David, it's Christmas. I'm feeling good, man. I'm ready to buy your property for cash. You know what I mean? So switch up the message and switch up the phone number. So anyone that blocks you, right, will now get another message.
Mm-hmm.
Hope that helps.
Hannah, can you bring on Marshall Villegas?
Hey, hello, David. How are you? Thanks.
Hey, good. How are you doing? Did I say your name correctly?
Close enough. Marshall Villegas, but close enough. Spanish name.
Marshall Villegas. That's a lot better than what I said. Hey, do you have a video that you could turn on?
Unfortunately, my lighting is not that great. It's pretty dark in my room, in my office right now.
Okay. Can you ask your question?
Yeah. So when Khang was discussing the constraints that sometimes you may have when the banks may put a time frame for you to be able to resell a house, I was wondering on the idea, right, as a wholesaler, if you were to purchase the house and do a double close, but instead buy it and put it in an LLC and then sell the LLC to a buyer, right? So just using that technique to be able to bypass the constraint on how long you need to hold that property for. Like that, you're not really selling the property, you're selling the rights to the LLC, and investor can come in and just buy that property that way. Just suggesting that trick as well.
Cool, man. Yeah, yeah. I know that you can do that, and I know that people also put in a land trust and do it that way as well.
Yes, and that will not, necessarily raise any flags with the bank, because I mean, a lot of investors, that's what they do. They put properties in LLC for asset protection, anyways.
Cool. Thanks, bro.
Absolutely.
Let's see if we got any other questions. Oh, Sherry. Sherry is the next one I'd like to bring on, Hannah. Sherry Norrington. While Sherry is joining us, it looks like Emmanuel followed up and said that $300 a month was his monthly budget that he was planning.
Okay. So every single month?
Yeah, that's what he's saying.
Got you, man. So every single month, I mean, listen, man, you would have to pull a list, skip trace, and cold call. Whatever you have left, maybe you go drive for dollars and then do DealMachine on it. Do DealMachine and drop the postcard. Because I'm telling you something, David postcard will work. And let me tell you what's so unique about the DealMachine postcard is you snap a pictures of that property, right? And you put it on the postcard. So when the people get the postcard, they'll be like, oh my God, that's a picture of my house, right? It catches their attention more than a normal postcard. Mm-hmm. But what I would do first, bro, is I would pull a list, skip trace, and see if you have extra money left. And then when you do drive for dollars, send out a postcard, because I know postcard costs about like 50 cents or so.
Mm-hmm. All right, we've got Sherry with us. Sherry, I see your name on here, but I was wondering if you can hear us.
Yes.
Hey, do you have a video you want to turn on?
I don't think I don't have a video.
Oh, okay. We'll go ahead and ask your question then.
Oh, okay. Basically, my question was, I have a actual seller, and she's shown me the property, but she's now not answering my phone calls. She's not responding to my messages.
Well,
have you ever had that happen to you, Khang?
Sherry, we're on the same boats every single day. every single day. But Sherry, let me share with you a trick. Let me share with you a trick right now that 90% of the time will get the seller to respond back to you. Now let me ask you some question.
Okay.
So Sherry, so you have talked to the seller, right?
Correct.
And okay, so when was the last conversation, and what was it about?
The last conversation was actually, she set up the date for me to see the properties. It's actually 2 homes.
Okay.
That sits on 2 lots next to each other.
Got it.
She wants to sell both of the homes on one deal.
Okay.
I did go to see the properties. One of the houses is pretty much just done. Nothing can be done to it.
Okay.
And the other property, with a few upgrades, I think it would be a good rental property.
Okay. So you already went and saw the property?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and then and then now you talked to her on the phone again to go out to see it again?
No, I called her. I told her after I saw the property, her brother lives in one of the homes.
Okay.
So he invited me in and everything. I took pictures, video,
okay.
Inside and outside. And I called her. She told me to call her back, and we could set up a date where I could give her my comps, my numbers.
And then after that, she never replied.
She hasn't replied.
For how long has it been now?
It's been about a week and a half.
Okay. So what kind of voicemail or message have you left to the seller already? I just want to know that before I say anything. Well,
verbatim of word for word, my husband called her. It's like my husband and myself runs the business. He's been pretty much the one that's been talking to her. So I don't know exactly what he said to her. This is new to us. Yeah.
Gotcha. Sherry, I'm sorry to cut you off just because of the time restrictions. So let me share with you and everyone that's listening. Anytime that the seller stops responding to you, here's some things that could possibly happen. One, they probably found another buyer or got another cash offer that's higher. Two, they've changed their mind in selling. Or maybe three, they might have something family issue that came up. Here's what I would do, Sherry. If I were you, I want you to, after we're done with this, I want you to call and take action right away and shoot a call and a text message. If you have an email, also email to the seller and say, hey, let's just say the seller's Bob. Hey, Bob, I just want to follow up with you regarding your property. We do have a cash offer ready for you. But if you change your mind about selling or don't want to sell anymore, I want to let you know that it's completely okay. Can you just let me know so I can update my team on it? You see, the biggest thing when seller discontinue and not talk to you anymore, that's a huge problem because you don't know what the issue is. Without knowing what the issue is, it's hard to fix the problem. All you want to do is get the seller to start communicating and talk to you again. And a lot of times I'll tell you, Sherry, seller do not call back or want to talk because they don't want to cost it, like they don't know what to say, or they don't want to cost any, like you know what I mean? Like they have already changed their mind and now they calling you back and they just don't want to go through that drama or that or that talk or whatever it is, right? So what you want to do, Sherry, is you want to push them away and let them know, hey, it's completely okay, Sherry. If you change your mind, I want to let you know that's completely fine. Could you just let me know so I can just update my team on it? That is all. Now,
right, and that's that sounds pretty much like what my husband told her.
Oh, good. Okay.
Right. Exactly. Pretty much what he said that he told her.
Okay, but then even after that, she just stopped responding at all.
Well, he called her. I think it was Monday or Tuesday, but we haven't heard anything back. But from the beginning, she was very. She's said she was ready to get rid of the property, that it was her passed down from her great grandfather.
Gotcha. So things, Sherry, I'm gonna take another step further, and I'm gonna really help you out on this. So first of all, if you are text message, you are email, you are try to call and leave a voicemail and said, hey, if you change your mind, if you don't want to sell, no problem, and you have continued doing that for the last week or so, and the seller has not responded, all you can do, Sherry, is just keep it on a follow up, or maybe talk to her. You said her brother, or whoever it is, and keep in contact with them. Okay.
Okay.
And then now let me help you, Sherry. When you first initially talked, because listen, talking to seller and negotiating is what I do the best. So now when you on the first call with the seller, Sherry, how many calls, like how many times do you talk to the seller? I guess that's what I want to know.
Basically my husband he's been the one that's talking with the customers.
Okay. So Sherry, what I want to know is, has he talked to the seller once, twice, three times before you go out to see the property, or what?
He talked to her, I think maybe twice or three times.
Okay, Sherry. Okay, so Sherry, check this out. Let me help you out, okay? So now, so it seems like you and your husband are going at this together, right?
Right.
So Sherry, here's what I want you to do. I want you guys to split up your role, which means one of you would be a lead manager and the other one would be a purchase manager. Whoever talked to the seller first is, you have to reverse the role. So let's just say, Sherry, like you talk to the seller first. Your job on that call is to qualify and filter the leads, which means build the rapport, get the information on the property, okay? Once you get the information, because it shouldn't be, Sherry, when I share this with you, it's going to help you eliminate the phone tag, because it happens to me when I first started, because I don't know what I know now. So I'm going to help you eliminate the phone tag. So the first call, build the rapport, get all the number with the seller. Like on the first call, get all the numbers, qualify them. Okay, once they qualify, seem like she is, then all it is now is going to go to the purchase manager side. The purchase manager is calling her back, obviously going over all the information, and then make the offer. Once the offer is accepted, you can lock it up over the phone, Sherry, and then you can go out to the property afterward. But you guys are taking too long, and you're playing that phone tag, So it should be qualified. If you want to go meet the seller, then you can, but it should set up the appointment. And when you set up the appointment, Sherry, to go out, so on that first call, you should have already set up the appointment for your husband to go out to the property already. And then what you should say on that call, Sherry, like this is, hey, so let's just say that David's the seller. I would say, hey, David, so my partner is going to go out there to the, my purchase manager is going to go out to the property tomorrow to look through the property and to make you an offer on it. Now, I want to make sure we're on the same page and we're not wasting your time or our time. If tomorrow, if we can agree on a price that work for you and for us, are you ready to get the paperwork done and sell your property? That is the closing statement, Sherry, because a lot of you are not getting commitment and not setting expectation. And when you go out to the property, you just go out there with no expectation, right? And you haven't set the intention. So when a lot of you go out to the appointment, the seller will say, well, I have to think about it. Yeah, you know, I'm just not ready. I have to talk to my mom, my dad, my brother, my sister, like my dog, my cat. You know what I'm saying? So you gotta set the intention and set the expectation so you don't waste your time. I hope that helps.
Thank you so much.
Not a problem. Good luck.
Thanks, Sherry.
Thank you.
I can't wait to see what happens. I would really like it if Sherry followed up on that.
Oh yeah, dude.
With us, I'd love to know.
Yeah.
I think that's such a helpful way to think about it, because you just on that initial call want to set the appointment.
Yep.
And that's cool because they've got two people on their team, so they can actually act as different people, different functions of their business like that.
Agree.
All right. So Rohei Jones says, Khang, in your experience, which app is more accurate to find the ARV? Zillow, Redfin, or Realtor?
You listen, the best app is actually the M, the L, and the S. But you know, the MLS is probably the best, but also I know another one is PropStream. PropStream is what we use, right? So if you guys want to go get a free trial on PropStreams, you can go trial.propstream.com/WTM. They also have access, right? Whatever the MLS have, they also have access to it to pull comps. Now, if you want the free way, then it's Zillow, Trulia.com, iComps.com, Realtor.com, and then Redfin.com. So when you use all of those 5 sites, and then what you want to do is take all of those numbers, add them up, and then divide it by 5, and then that will probably give you a ballpark of what it would be. But if you want to get a really good solid comps, get access to the MLS or PropStreams, which is what I just shared with you.
Okay.
Yep.
Michael, Hannah, can you bring on Michael Flowers? He says, I need help. I got a deal.
Oh, let's go. Let's go, Michael. Let's make some money on this call, man. Dude, let's close a deal on this call, man.
Ooh, I'd love that.
Yeah, let's close a deal on this call, man. Dude, you guys got a seller. We want to put him on the phone. Let's rock and roll, man.
Mm-hmm. Hey, what's going on, Michael?
Hey, what's going on, Michael?
Hey,
Let's go. Let's go, bro.
Man, I know y'all ain't got them.
Let's go, man. I got my notepad. Let's talk about the deal. Let's go.
Okay, now I'm gonna start from scratch because that guy right there came awesome. I was just scrolling because I was already hooked up with Max. So I'm like, man, let me check him out. So when I checked him out, he was like, man, you know what? Just practice on Zillow. So I started doing my research on Zillow. So I'm like, they got some houses that's for sale by owner. So I'm like, you know what? I think I can kind of land something. Let me play around with it because I know the number. Okay, long story short, I called somebody on there, 5-bedroom, 3 baths, in the area with 3-2. Okay? Now, off the real, it been on Zillow for like 219 days. Now, motivation is up through the roof. They dropped it down while I looked at it probably like 4.5K. So it's that 189. So when I talked to him, off the real, I'm not gonna play the numbers game with you, ma'am. When you do talk to your husband and you call me back, it's gonna either be a yes or a no. Simple. Call me back. Husband said 172, dropped it down to 170. Now, not only am I in the fuzz with the contract, because it's like, man, I'm scratching my head all because, you know, the husband's going to be so particular with the contract. And I already was trying to do an electronic one. And she was like, I don't think he's gonna like that. He's gonna put his glasses on. I got the wife. She loves me. So I am in the fuzz of how, because they already gave me a title company to go through, their actual title company. So, yeah.
So Michael, dude, let's talk about the deal, man. Dude, let's talk about the deal. Here's all I want to know is, dude, the number. What's the ARV?
The after repair value, it's honestly, it's already repaired. It's like it's already ready to live in right now.
Okay, man. So what is the ARV?
Probably about 215, probably 200,000 at the least.
Okay, so let's just go with 210. Okay, so 210 is the ARV.
210, perfect.
And you're saying that it doesn't need any rehab, zero rehab?
They already they did some man, I'm telling you, 2018.
Hold on. Okay, bro. Listen, man. If it's 2018, I promise you, bro. Unless you get this deal for like super, dude, it's probably not a deal. But what did they have it listed on Zillow for?
189.
Now listen. What do you have? Do you have it under contract or do you don't?
We only got an agreement.
And what was the agreed price?
The agreed price was once 172, and he dropped it down to 170.
Dude, okay, Michael, I can tell you right now, bro. Okay, unless there's a contract, bro, even at that price, let me do the math with you really quick, bro.
Do the math.
So if it's worth 210, we minus 30% off, bro. You already, bro, gotta be at 147, dude. So 170, dude, it's a no-go, man. It's a no-go, bro. So you gotta get it under contract for at least the lower, like the 147. I'm telling you, bro. Listen, dude. So many of you are like, hey, if it's built in 2018, bro. Dude, I'm telling you, dude.
It's not built. No, it's back in the days. It's a very old house.
Okay. So, okay. I got you. So Michael, so if there's no repair, which I doubted, there always be some repair, bro. So even if we put 5,000 for minimum for repair, bro, 147 minus 5, so you gotta get it under contract for at least lower than 140 if you want to make any profit. So Michael, hey, dude, Michael. So yes, listen to me, okay, bro. After you're done with this, I want you to do this ASAP, dude. It's all to me, bro. Like to me, it's all about taking action. It's not about listening and watching the video, but really taking action. Here's what I want you to do right now. After you're done with this, bro, call the seller back and say, I talked to my partner about it, my team manager, or I talked to my team manager about it. And you know what? After some research on the property and all of that, here's what the best that we can. Here's what we can offer you. Would you consider? And I would start low, bro. I would go like 130. Okay, bro. You would go 130, and the seller probably gonna say no. The seller will say no. Well, guess what, bro? You set a follow up. 7 days later, you're gonna say, hey, you know what? I'm able to get my team manager to move now up to 135. And then just keep climbing the ladder until you get to your max offer, and it's either a deal or a no deal, and let it go, bro, and move on. So many of you are starting out, you're so stuck on one deal that you're so focused on the closed door that you miss on other opportunities. So move on.
This just came. This literally just happened a couple of days ago.
Good, man. So good. So Michael, after we're done with this, bro, dude, call the seller up and say, hey, talk to my team manager. We did some research. 130. Would you consider that? And then just move on, climb the ladder, and then
it's gonna be her husband. Her husband will be the one that make the decision, man. So I know that's not gonna happen.
Let's go, dude. Hey, you know what? Hey, Michael. Do not ever assume. Make the offer, dude. Let's go, bro. Thanks, bro.
Thanks, Michael. Thanks for helping.
Man, I can feel his energy, David.
I felt so much energy. And that's saying something because you have the most energy of anyone that I know until I met Michael Flowers.
Who?
Until I met Michael. He was even a level above.
Yeah, he's definitely above and beyond, bro.
All right. So we're going to go into like a lightning round because we've got 5 minutes left and there are still some questions. Okay. So Darius Brown says, what situation is good for a subject to deal? Do you know about subject to deals?
So listen, man, and I'm just going to be upfront. My whole thing is when I teach, it's all about closing it with cash. You're often done. I don't teach any subject to, lease options, own a contract. That's not my game. I know how to do it, but I only do it for me, and I don't teach it. So if you want to, you might want to hook up with the guy named House Buying Brian.
Thank you. Frank says, how much do you put down to lock up the property? Also, do you need proof of funds if growing through a realtor?
So, okay. So answer number one is that if you watch my channel and you probably see, dude, people have put $1. And if you tell me you don't have $1, dude, probably better to go back to a 9 to 5. You know, so people lock you up with just $1, man. Some put 0, but there has to be an exchange of money for the contract to be actually legit. Now, when you work with Realtor, the answer is yes. Most Realtor will ask for proof of funds if it's a large, if they can sense it from you where you don't have the confidence. When you can talk with confidence, I'm telling you, you're going to help eliminate a lot of that. But yes, some Realtor, not all, but some Realtor will ask for proof of fund.
Awesome answer. Pedro says, I heard that Florida does not allow you to text blast, that you can be sued for that.
Well, you know what? I don't work in the Florida market, so I don't know the rules and the regulation. One thing I can tell you this is that, I'm in a mastermind, and I know that we got some, right, David? We got some really big players that are in Florida, and I know that they do the whole text message blast. So, but
right there's definitely a way to do it compliant with like TCPA. So definitely consult your attorney about that if you're going to use text blasting for legal advice. Jason Bond says, how do you find cash buyers via Craigslist?
Oh, well, what you want to do is you want to, okay. What's his name again, David?
Jason Bond.
Oh, Jason, you ready, bro? Let's rock and roll. First, you got Craigslist, which means you got to put up a ghost ad, right? You got to put up a very appealing ad. So that way, when a fix and flipper look at it, they'll be like, oh, shit, this is a hot deal, right? So the most important thing with a ghost ad is that your title has to be catchy. 50 cents on a dollar. Dude, fixer upper, right? Cash buyer needed. Wholesale deal. A pennies on a dollar. Okay, so you really something really catchy, and you just want to, and then in the body, you just want to make up some numbers, but make it very appealing. Now, listen, man, let me give you some more sites. All right. So Craigslist. Okay. Call all the local realtors. Another site is Bigger Pockets, biggerpockets.com. Okay. Your local RIA. Local RIA is another place to find cash buyer. There's a Facebook group called Wholesaling Houses Full Time. It has 100,000 member on there. Okay. Google, sell my house fast, buy houses for cash in whatever market. And guess what's going to pop up? Either a fix and flipper website or another wholesaler website. Reach out to them, connect with them, and network with them, right? Because they're just like you out there building up their cash buyer list. So there's some lists for you to build up your cash buyer list, man.
Oh, that was great. We've got a few more questions. Let's see. We're in the lightning round. Rapid firing.
Okay.
Yeah. So Eddie says, how often do you text the same seller if you're doing your texting campaign?
Well, we do it once a month because our list is large. We have a huge list. So we do it once a month, but maybe for you have a small list. Maybe you want to shoot them once a week or once every other week. But what you want to do is you want to switch up the message and switch up the numbers.
Somebody is asking, how do you pick the cities that you virtual wholesale in?
Gotcha. So what it is, if you go on that site that I share with you, which is PropStreams, what it calls on there, there's a heat map. There's a heat map that you can actually go on there, and it'll show you what's all the hot states, all the zip code, right, that you can actually go in. Now, let's just say if you don't have that, what you want to do is listen. For those of you who wants to go virtual, let me give you a quick tips. I recommend that you dominate your area first before you decided to go into another states, because you probably know your area more better than another states. Now, when people said virtual wholesaling, it doesn't mean you have to go into completely different states. Even if that property is 5 minutes away from you, 10 minutes or 15 minutes away from you, as long as you're never physically there to see it, to meet the seller, you are virtual wholesaling. So don't think you have to go into a completely different states. First, I'll look at your county, right? And then if that county doesn't work, then you want to move within your states. And I promise you, you're going to be able to find a county that you can work in.
Let's see. Eddie says, what do you think about ringless voicemail?
We are about to try ringless voicemail. I think anything works if you stay consistent enough.
I would agree.
So, yeah, man, because David probably get the same thing where people try out the DealMachine, and it's silly. Oh, dude, I tried out for 30 days. I sent about 10 postcard, dude, and I got no lead. Oh, the lead come back and say one retail. Come on, man. Shit. Like, do you guys think this is a get rich quick, man? It's not. It's about consistency, right? It's over time. And a lot of times the seller that gets your postcard this month will not call you until maybe 5 months later or 6 months later. And by 100%. That time, yeah, man. And by that time, most of you are out of the game.
Oh man. And let's bring it home with a last question for you. Can you talk more about how your virtual assistants work in your business and keep your business running?
Okay. So basically we got a transactional coordinator, right? We operate from all VA transactional. We got the lead manager, that's the girl that filter the leads. So whether they're doing cold call or they're taking incoming call or answering text message, that is their job. And once the seller is qualified, and David, tell me if I'm on the right track with that, or am I off track with your question?
I think you're on. I think they want to know what the VAs do in your business. And then it's probably a good opportunity to talk about what Loan has going on as well.
Yeah. Okay. So basically in our business, the VA does everything, right? So we got VAs that qualify and filter the leads. We call them the lead manager. So whether they're replying to text or they're cold calling or they're taking incoming calls, once the seller is qualified, then it's sent over to my purchase manager. They're still VA from the Philippines. You just need to train them properly. Most people are not successful with VA because they don't know how to train them. You just need to train them properly. So it goes to my purchase manager. My purchase manager will lock up the deal. So they will actually get on the phone and negotiate with the seller from the Philippines. Okay. And then once the property is locked up in a contract, then it goes to my transactional coordinator. Right. And they're the one who sell the deal, market the deal to find cash buyer, talk to the title company, talk to the seller, talk to the buyer to set up showing and all of that. Like we operate all from that. And right now, all I'm doing, so Lon's my wife. She works on the back end. She does all the paperwork, all the training, all the qualifying, hiring the VAs, firing the VAs, getting them paid, getting them bonus. Like she does all the back end, right? Training them up, talking to the seller, all of that. I work more off the front end. So I will help with the purchase manager side, helping them with negotiating, giving them tips. So I kind of overlook them and my purchase manager and my transactional coordinator. So I work toward the end. So right now I put about 2 hours a day into the wholesaling business, and the rest I really put it on the personal branding. But for those of you who are looking to maybe get a VA, and only for those of you who's ready to scale, if you haven't done any deal or maybe 1 or 2 deal, I definitely don't recommend this. But if you have done deals, but you're one man, one woman show, you feel like you're doing everything yourself and you're grinding away, I'm telling you, I made that mistakes. It's not the way to go. You got to switch your mindset because you're now building a business. You got to have system and a team in place. So for those of you who's open to getting a VA and you don't want to go through the hiring and the training all yourself. So if you want to hire VAs, you can go to upwork.com. You can hire them, go through the training yourself. or you can check out the wife. She just launched her new VA service. It's called VA's Dream Team. You can find her on Facebook or on Instagram. You can follow her on Instagram. Her name is Loan, LOAN NGUYEN 1984, or you can find her on Facebook. It's just VA's apostrophe S Dream Team. All right. And listen, the one that goes with her, it's not because it's not because it's cheap. If you want results, then yes, because I'm telling you, she's not the most expensive and she's not the cheapest, but she will give you results when it comes to VAs.
Awesome. So I'm going to stick around and try to answer the other questions that came in, but I know that we're past our time. So if you need to go, just wanted to say thank you so much for spending an hour with us here tonight.
David, I want to say thank you so much, man. And it's a pleasure to be on here. So thank you so much for the opportunities. For those of you who follow David, I met him at the mastermind. I get to know him a little bit more. And man, and I tell you, I fell in love with the guy. No homo, but I really I really truly like him, and he's a very genuine guy, and I think he's really all about really helping the people, making his products better for the people, for us investors, to make more money and close more deal, man. So
100%.
David, thank you so much. Thank you so much for the opportunities, bro.
Thank you, Khang. And if you guys want to follow Khang, his Instagram and TikTok is KHANG.WTM.
Yep, man. If you want to see me dance and do some moonwalk, check me on TikTok.
That's right. I saw you standing on a desk at the hotel, and it's, dude, how many videos do you post every day?
I think right now, for those of you who's into the personal brand, who's really trying to grow your personal brand, I think just like Gary Vee said, and I follow his advice. It's really underrated right now. But I post about 4 to 5 videos a day, bro. And one of right now, just one of them just needs to kick off, and that's all you need. That's why in the last 7 days I met you, dude, grow to got 6,000 or 7,000 followers. It just blew up.
Right.
Just be consistent.
Yeah, we had a contest, and now I feel like, well, first of all, I was feeling like you had a head start.
Yeah.
and now I feel extremely discouraged.
Well, the thing is, you know what, man? Starting from today, I can start from zero. But yeah, I understand what you're saying.
Oh, man. So thanks again, man. I just appreciate it so much, and I look forward to seeing you soon. Have a great trip to Vietnam.
Awesome. Thanks, David. And everyone that's watching, thank you so much. And I wish you guys all the best, all right?
Yeah. Bye, Khang.
Yeah. Ciao, David.
So it looks like there was a couple other questions in here, and I want to try to make sure those get answered. So Yasim says, how can I make sure I get the right forms for California? Would anyone know any title companies in LA, OC? So if any of you guys here know any title companies in LA, please share those. How to find lawyers or any local in any local area. So Yasim, here's what I did. So I had never done a deal before, but I went to a local real estate investor meetup, and I was like, hey guys, can I use one of the forms that you guys use? So I was able to get a local form right there that somebody who's buying properties was using, because people love to share those resources. And then the same question was like, what's the best title company for wholesalers to use? And you want to make sure you're using the right title company. There's probably a few that are really wholesaler friendly. And what that means for you is they're going to know exactly what an assignment fee is. They're going to know what a double close is, and they're going to be willing and able to do those on a regular basis. And also, they're not going to be very expensive. Usually the ones that are very investor friendly are like $800 to go ahead and do a title search and get a property closed. So I would definitely talk to local people at a local real estate meetup. Let's see. What would you say to an investor who says they don't like working with wholesalers? They like to speak and work with the seller directly. Well, it's your property. It's under contract with you. So if they want to do a deal with you, then I would definitely go find some other buyers if this person doesn't want to work with you. The buyer should know exactly what's going on. They should definitely know that you're going to bring them really good properties on a recurring basis. And if they're a serious buyer who wants to buy multiple properties over a period of time, they're going to be perfectly understanding how your business works. So I would say build your business to provide great deals week after week. And if that person doesn't want to work with your business, they're not the right buyer that you should be working with. Great place to find buyers is actually go to an auction and see who's there bidding on properties. Another way would be like a real estate meetup. Like I said, usually there's some folks there that want to buy properties. Another thing you could do is actually just Google "we buy houses" and then your city name. And the top 3 or 4 ranking pages there are going to be people who buy houses, and they can probably actually partner with you and take down a property as well that you have under contract. So those are 3 ways to actually get buyers if you're working with just one guy who's not really doing much for you. All right, let's see. All right, it says, should I open escrow and begin a title search after locking up the contract? Yeah, I think it's always a good idea. If let's say you just locked up a contract, you want to find one of those law firms, title companies that's investor friendly. And I think you can send over the purchase agreement to them and say, hey, I plan on assigning this or double closing this. I'm working on lining up the buyer, but I wanted to go ahead and get the title search started. You can actually do that. And that way, you know, for sure, there's not going to be any problems whenever you actually get the buyer lined up. Let's see. I am very motivated to take action. Where can I find 100+ list of sellers to call? All right. So you can use DealMachine and you can find 100 properties that look run down. That's going to be the best list that you can buy in order to call. Let's see here. Awesome. I think that's all the questions. Let me know in the comments if you guys enjoyed having Khang on tonight. Awesome. Kristen's saying enjoyed. Forrest is saying great. Jeff, yes, sir. Pedro, yes. Try Financial, he was great. Jason, yep. Damian, yep. Chandrea says, we love Khang. And Marshall, thank you so much. Kevin says, loves his energy. Great, guys. So thank you guys for asking good questions. This is all about you guys, and we want to get you unstuck and getting your next deal as soon as possible. So thank you guys so much, and I hope you got a lot of value out of it. We'll see you next time.